On the Earth, in the face of this dark scene that lasted for 6 hours, political leaders from all over the world gathered together. The hegemonic empire headed by the United States stood at the joint meeting to express their views on this matter. Long Guo said that he gave up this discussion and condemned the United States speech that disregarded human safety. Looking back, SHIELD was immediately informed by the council. Immediately dispatch all agents to investigate this shady incident. If it is really a crime committed by some psychic, the Security Council will authorize SHIELD to handle it personally. Whoever threatens the safety of Rice is the enemy of the whole world. At the same time, a middle-aged man named Zheng Xian in Longguo also began to establish a group of special organizations headed by Longguo under the secret request of Longguo. At present, it is tentatively named Shen Spear Bureau, which is taken from a proverb in the traditional history of the Dragon Kingdom. Use my spear to attack the other's shield. Definitely, Eren doesn't have any interest in the affairs of these people on Earth. What he was most happy about going out this time was not that he found the Pluto sword, but that under the premise of Minno's recovery, he even found a girl with Pandora's fate. This girl, now with Minno's, followed Eren back to Hell's Kitchen. Master, Dalamandes and I have recovered. Why didn't Iagos, the hero, have any signs that day? Eren shook his head. He didn't even figure out how these magic stars tricked the world and invaded the world. But he knew that the big three should have woken up. Helheim. This is the place where the ghosts of the 9 worlds reside, and the person who commands this place is the daughter of God King Odin, Princess Hela, who is called the god of death and war. A man in a black robe, with a 5-pointed star-shaped halo between his brows. Walking in this country known as the world of the undead. He didn't seem to pose any threat, but there was an arrogant and unruly smile on his face. No one knows what he is thinking. Asgard, Asgard. At this moment, Heimdall, who was guarding Bifrost, was pierced by a sword in the chest. Although the important part was avoided, it still couldn't exert any power. Yes. Enemy. Attack. At the last moment of closing his eyes, Heimdall sounded the alarm. But at this moment, boundless and endless darkness shrouded the top of Asgard. In the black clouds, there seemed to be giant beasts crashing. On the ground, countless death knights and skeleton soldiers frantically poured in from the Bifrost. Asgard. The alarm is sounding. Not good. Enemy attack. God King Odin has been asleep for 1,000 years, and the gods of Asgard dare not expand easily. The current universe knows that Asgard is like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Anyone can easily step in, anyone can easily invade this place. Who are you? Dare to invade my Asgard? The arrogant and unruly Asgard Thor. Thor grabbed his big hammer and rushed into the black clouds. Within the cloud, a vicious dog suddenly roared and charged towards Thor. A black door appeared behind the black cloud, followed by a woman in green armor holding a pitch-black night sky sword in front of her eyes. Boom. Thor's hammer charged up. But this woman didn't care about the power of the hammer, and even held the hammer with one hand. Then he asked in a cold and disdainful voice, "Are you Odin's son?" As soon as the voice fell, the powerful force directly dragged Thor and flew out. In Asgard, the fairy queen Frigga, who was waiting beside Odin, gazed at the darkness high above. Something is wrong in my heart. The twilight of the gods has come. On top of this Bifrost, a woman in a dark green battle armor, staring at a spider-like crown on her head, is starting a battle with the gods. The waves created by the giant wolves did not retreat under the crusade of Valkyrie in Soul Castle. The mighty goddess was above there, with the long sword in her hand, and Thor was evenly matched. And to a certain extent, Thor's attack was completely suppressed. Honey, Hela is back, and the prophecy in your dream has begun to come true. Hela, the eldest princess of Asgard. Before Thor was born, Hela was originally the next king of the gods established by Odin. Unfortunately, the patriarchal Odin forgot his promise to his daughter. After marrying the current fairy queen Frigg, she gave birth to a baby boy, who is now Thor. However, in the prophecy of ancient Asgard, the king of God Odin, after demoting his own brother to the mortal world, got the coveted throne. His flesh and blood will come back with endless resentment. War has swept across the 9 realms, engulfing all of Asgard. The giant wolf killed the great god, the big snake swallowed Thor, and Tony stabbed the big snake to death. This time, there was no big snake, but such is the prophecy of Ragnarok. It was the scene Odin was most afraid of seeing. Finally, in the hands of his own flesh and blood, Hela is about to come true. Odin, did you see? This is your prophecy. I don't care who you are. No one can invade the whole of Asgard from my eyes. Angry Thor raised the meow hammer that his father gave him, and the endless power of thunder gathered in all directions. Boom. The power of thunder fell directly into the hands of death god Hela. But what Thor never expected was this hateful goddess in front of him. He actually used his own hand to hold the Mjolnir bestowed by his father again. The lightning energy above did not have any effect on this goddess. Mjolnir. It's been a long time. HMPH. Give it to me. Let go. A violent breath filled Thor's body in an instant, and in an instant, Thor's eyes burst out with a strong power of Thor. You really look like Odin when he was young, the same ignorance, the same arrogance. At this moment, Hela is here to destroy the entire Asgard. The army she brought was all Asgard warriors who had fought with her. But now, they have all become their own troops. Warriors who have fallen in battle with the giants of Jotunheim, the Flame Giant, and even the Eternals. Did not enter the Soul Castle, but entered the underworld. In that eternally cold place, in that silent world among all things. As he said that, a powerful breath of death erupted from Hela's body. Knock Thor back instantly. Loki, shoot. Loki, the god of intrigue and trickery, is Thor's younger brother, but not Odin's own. As the son of Lof, the Frost King, he was raised by Odin until now. He doesn't have much affection for Odin, but he respects the fairy queen Frigg very much. So, Loki made a move. It's a pity that Hela's divine power is blessed with half of Asgard's power, far exceeding the average level godfather. Not to mention the current Loki and Thor, even the normal Odin is no match. After all, Odin is old. The two were directly sent flying by Hela. A large number of Helheim's death soldiers rushed towards this side, and the giant wolf Fenrir was also constantly tearing at the Asgard warriors. Everyone, attention! Watch out for the enemy. With the assistance of the gods of Asgard, some of the enemies were barely held back. But the ability of Hela, the god of death, is too powerful. She came back to take the throne in the first place. Now, she doesn't care about the lives of these people. Hi. Thor continued to attack. Unfortunately, this time Hela has no intention of letting go. One hand directly pinched the Meow Meow hammer, and then sarcastically said with disdain, "Little Thor, I hugged you. Do you know? This Mjolnir was originally the warhammer that Odin gave me, and it is an artifact forged against Kul's daughter. You use my divine hammer to attack its original owner, do you think I will be happy?" After finishing speaking, a huge amount of energy was released from Hela's body. The incomparably powerful force erupted directly. In an instant, the sledgehammer in front of him was crushed into pieces. No. My hammer. It's just a hammer god, I don't know how Odin will take a fancy to you trash. Hela gave Thor a disdainful look, then kicked him out. At the moment Thor, like a pug, landed directly on the Bifrost, lying on the ground unable to move. But Hela, holding her own night sky sword, walked slowly into Asgard step by step. His Highness Hela. The guards on duty in front of Asgard were also the ancient Aesir Protoss, and they were stunned when they saw Hela. Unfortunately, at this moment Hela only thinks about revenge. For these former acquaintances, there is no mercy at all. As Hela walked up the steps step by step, a powerful coercion directly suppressed all the Asgard guards. They can't attack, and they can't resist. We can only let the former princess of Odin walk directly into the gate of Asgard. Odin. After a while of shouting, Hela's breath changed drastically. Hela, the ex-executive of Asgard, is back again, filled with a huge breath of death. With the appearance of these words, the ensuing underworld energy began to pour into Asgard. Odin. You are alive. Your daughter, Hela, God King of Asgard, came back. Countless external forces coveting Asgard's status are all setting their sights on Asgard at this moment. She is back. Odin hasn't appeared yet. It seems that the legend is true. A purple giant 2 or 3 meters tall stood in a dark starry sky, staring at the picture in front of him. Send the order. The fleet is targeting Midgard, ready to capture the infinite gems. And deeper in this universe, it is located at the junction of the 3 major galaxies. A hidden fleet was also watching the scene in front of him. He made the same choice as the purple giant. The rise of the Empire is today. As long as it is confirmed that Odin is dead, you can start a war and swallow the remaining 2 empires. In Asgard, the tyrannical Hela opened the gate of Asgard with a sword. This resplendent palace reappeared in Hela's eyes after thousands of years. Over the entire sky of Asgard, bursts of black smoke constantly gathered from the underworld. It can even be seen that the troops who crusade against Hela thousands of years ago existed. In the myths and legends of Asgard, Hela, as Odin's first child, was given half of Asgard's divine power after assisting Odin in conquering the 9 realms. Odin also promised Hela, and after his lifespan is over, Hela will be the next god king of Asgard. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before Odin discovered the prophecy. According to the prophecy, Ragnarok is about to be born by his hands. The big snake Kura uprooted the entire world tree. And death god Hela gave the gods of Asgard the final blow. Therefore, in the legend of Asgard, Odin, the king of God, wanted to govern the country with benevolence and righteousness after conquering the 9 realms. It's a pity that his daughter refused to accept Odin's control, and finally rebelled against Asgard. God King Odin, for the safety of the 9 realms, sent the elite Valkyrie Legion to conquer death god Hela. However, the legion was almost completely wiped out by Hela in the end, and all Valkyrie were killed except Valkyrie, who escaped. In the end, Odin banished Hela. It is said that Hela is sealed on the earth, but everyone does not know that the real Hela has been sealed in Helheim. No. Thor fell to the ground and couldn't get up, and the spear in Loki's hand was broken. Half of the huge Asgard divine power is in the hands of Hela, and Odin will not wake up, and no one will be his opponent. Finally, Hela broke into Asgard. Under that huge amounts of energy, even the fairy queen Frigg could only stay away. Frigga. Hela stared at the woman in front of her with disdain, then said lightly, "I heard that Odin was sealed by a powerful enemy thousands of years ago, and has never woken up from his deep sleep for thousands of years." Layers of sparks were drawn across the night sky on the ground, and Frigga constantly backed away, trying to conjure Hela back. "Hela, he is your father." Hearing this, Hela frowned tightly, and the spider helmet on her head disappeared slowly, revealing her original appearance. What? Odin doesn't think so. Odin, who has been sleeping for millennia, is now placed in the deepest bed of Asgard. The god who fell from the sky thousands of years ago sealed Odin without warning. As a god king, he couldn't fight back at all. Hela walked to Odin's side, and Odin was still wearing his golden armor at this moment. No one has changed Odin's posture. It's not that they don't want to, but they can't get close to Odin's body at all. Even putting Odin here took Asgard hundreds of years to do it. "Odin, you are really in a mess right now." After the words fell, a powerful killing intent was released from Hela without warning. "Hela, that's your father." Fairy Queen Frigg stopped immediately, and cast astral magic, trying to stop Hela's actions. "Father?" Hela smiled, and said with great disdain. "When he sent his Valkyrie legions to siege me, when he branded me a traitor all over Asgard, when he stripped me of my powers and banished me to the dark side of Helheim." Saying that, the air in the entire room became solidified. "Since then, I, Hela, have no father." As soon as the words fell, the night sky sword filled with the power of Death God immediately stabbed fiercely from Hela's hand towards Odin's chest. Right now, the sleeping Odin suddenly opened his eyes. But only for a while, Odin fell asleep again. However, the night sky sword suddenly stopped within a centimeter of Odin's chest. Clang. There was a piercing sound, and a strange membrane suddenly appeared between the night sky and in front of Odin. On this layer of film, some ancient and mysterious characters seemed to be engraved. Earth, the United States. Manhattan, Hell's Kitchen. Minnows is teaching Verla to be familiar with the characters of the underworld, as well as various cultural common sense in this world. Using this method, let Vera take the lead in getting familiar with some rules of the underworld. But at this moment, Minnows suddenly heard a strange exclamation from Master Aaron, turned his head, only to find that the young master came out of his studio. "Master, why did you come out? Today is not the weekend." Aaron narrowed his eyes, hugged Xiao He while stroking Xiao He's hair, and walked out of the gallery. I remember beating a half-blind old man when I just crossed over. This man seems to be Odin. Eight-legged Pegasus, Odin with Gingnir." After this familiar shadow flashed in Aaron's mind, Aaron actually showed a knowing smile. "Someone is actually attacking my seal. The 1,000 years have passed, and the seal seems to be about to dissipate." This seal was set when the space-time tunnel created by the shattered Pure Land of Bliss pulled his true body into this world after the Holy War with Athena ended. At that time, my real body came into this world. Originally far surpasses Odin the Father God. But it's also to blame for Odin's carelessness, if the power of Asgard was gathered at that time. Odin can at least have the power to destroy a single universe of galaxies. Unfortunately, he was careless. Hades, who came in his real body, met Odin for the first time, and under extreme anger, he exerted a strength far exceeding that of the single universe. It's a pity that after sealing it, the real body will have to fall into a deep sleep again. And the soul of Hades also chose the current body in the 1,000-year reincarnation and became the current Aaron. Aaron is Hades, but Hades is not necessarily Aaron. The current Aaron is only in the 3rd stage of awakening, and his strength has only reached level Godfather's other strengths. It can tear apart the galaxy, but it will consume more than half of the underworld microcosm. In short, the current Aaron is very powerful, but the kind that is simple and not easy to shoot. Even facing the mutant Emperor Apocalypse thousands of years ago, Aaron didn't bother to do it. Just a little residual prestige revealed can completely deter him. This is the power of Pluto, which far exceeds the power of the Olympian gods in this world. The Hades of this world is a waste. At this moment, under Minnow's suspicion, Aaron's slightly raised mouth looked a little weird. Brother Minnows, what are you laughing at, master? After finishing today's study, the curious Vera trotted all the way to Minnow's. Facing Aaron, even this little brother is very good looking, especially those blue eyes. But Vera still couldn't help feeling a wave of fear. Brother Minnows is better, gentle and considerate. Definitely, this is just the opinion of the young Vera. As one of the 3 giants of the underworld, Minnows was once the supreme master of the first hell. All those who died will go to the underworld to report and accept his trial. Among the 3 giants of the underworld, his speed, strength and defense can be said to be the most comprehensive. He is also the only underworld fighter who can enter and exit any hell without being restricted by any space. Master. You must have thought of something happy. God's domain, Asgard. The endless dark energy of the underworld is flooding the entire Asgard, and Hela is using her own power to announce her return to the whole world. Odin, you may hand over the throne to me. As he said that, he stabbed straight down into the night sky. But at this moment, a faint ripple suddenly appeared in front of Odin. At an instant less than 1 centimeter away from the night sky, 3 ancient characters appeared before Hela's eyes. If Verla is here, she can clearly recognize the true meaning of these 3 words. These 3 characters are the most respected names in the underworld. Pass through hell, pass through the underworld, pass through the passage that can only be walked by gods, and reach the name of the pure land of ultimate bliss. Hades. The content of this text is roughly the same. This seal exists for thousands of years, and anyone who attacks the seal within 1,000 years will trigger the powerful blow left by Hades' real body on this seal. Hela never expected that at the moment when he was about to stab Odin to death. It happens to be the last day of Hades' real body seal Odin Millennium. It can only be said that Hela, as the death god, never counted on such a day. When Odin was sealed, just after Hela was banished to Helheim by Odin. So Hela didn't even know when Odin was really sealed. Then, something bad happened to her. The night sky sword touched Hades' seal, and also touched the remaining sword energy in Hades' seal. This is the seal set by Hades' real body himself, where the real body surpasses the main god. It has reached the level of the single universe god in the Marvel system, and may even surpass it. Unfortunately, Hela does not know, in this instant. A burst of extreme darkness tore the seal on Odin's body, turned into a condensed sword intent and came directly towards the intruder Hela. But at this very moment, Hela decisively abandoned the night sky sword, and even rushed towards the direction of the gate of Helheim at an unforgettable speed. The sky of Asgard was shrouded in a thicker darkness. No one knows, this is the power of the small universe. It is unique to the system of this world, but it is completely integrated into the system of this world. The power of darkness to the extreme turned into a sharp blade and flew towards it directly. Countless skeleton soldiers and death knights along the way disappeared under the dark flying sword. No life can escape from this kind of attack. Thor crouched on top of the Bifrost, and Loki, who supported himself from falling off the Bifrost with one hand, stared in horror at the night meteor that pierced the sky. In this instant, Asgard, Warnerheim, Jotunheim, 9 worlds on the world tree such as Helheim, Midgard, etc. At the same time, I saw a huge black sword piercing the tranquility of the sky. After Pluto's remnant sword pierced through the 9 realms, the remaining real body power finally dissipated outside the 9 realms. In the depths of the universe, a powerful energy burst out and then completely annihilated. In the depths of the universe, the huge Imperial fleet led their flagships, and a total of 36 space battleships appeared in the depths of the galaxy. But right after this, a light and shadow came out of nowhere in the deep space. The space in front of him was cut directly, forming a huge amounts of black hole. The people on this fleet are all wearing green interstellar armor with blue skin. These people are the fighters of the Kree Empire, one of the 3 great empires in the universe. The leader is Ronan, one of the highest accusers of the Kree Empire. Commander. Unknown energy fluctuations are found ahead. Unknown energy fluctuations are found ahead. Ronan stared at the black hole that suddenly appeared on the screen, which happened to be emitted from Asgard that was being monitored. With such a powerful energy, is it possible that Odin has already woken up? As the titular master of the 9 realms, Odin really tore apart the celestial gods and the eternal Protoss when he was young. Who in the entire universe does not know the prestige of God Acer, and even the Vanir Protoss, who share the same name with the Acer Protoss, can only be attached to the name of Acer God. The broken sword light that suddenly appeared is enough to see its super strength of level God Father. With such a huge amount of energy, Odin must have been revived. Notify the whole ship and return immediately. Odin has resuscitated, so the idea of invading Andromeda has to be put off for now. Although the Carey Empire is powerful, it is still unable to truly confront the Acer Protoss. The matter of Odin's recovery must go back and inform the Supreme Wisdom. Only through its calculation can the next plan be determined. So, before the black hole cut by the sword light, the 36 starships led by Kree Commander Ronan began to turn around and jump. And at a place thousands of light years away from the Earth, another fleet also stopped on the other side of the galaxy. A tall purple giant, holding a fan sword and staring at the sword light cutting down in the sky. In an instant, 1/3 of the soldiers in the fleet turned into powder and dissipated under this sword light. "My lord, retreat," an eerie dark magician stood behind Thanos suggested. "Well, retreat for the time being, that kid Odin can be used by us. Ebony Maw, go pay attention to the child of the Frost Dwellers, let Supergiant get to know him, and win him over." "Yes, my lord." After the order here was over, this huge fleet also left the edge of the galaxy under Thanos' order. Among the 9 realms, Asgard. The Twilight of the Gods was forcibly cancelled with the broken sword intent in the seal of Hades, the king of Hades, but at this moment the entire Asgard was in chaos. After the disaster, the entire god's domain needs to be rebuilt. Asgard also fell under the Battle of Hela, and more than half of it was destroyed. The current Asgard and god's domain urgently need to be rebuilt. Inside Asgard, in Odin's bedchamber, Fairy Queen Frigga waited in front of Odin's bed with a worried expression on her face, refusing to leave even one step. Hades' seal was lifted, but Odin didn't wake up right away. However, as time passed by every minute and every second, a familiar atmosphere then slowly spread from Odin's bed to the whole of Asgard. Well, just at this time, a light muffled hum came from Odin's bed. Then a strong breath emanated from Odin's body, and immediately, Odin opened his eyes again. Hades. Hades. Odin suddenly stood up from his couch. At this moment, he was still wearing a gorgeous battle armor like 1,000 years ago. "Father." Thor ran over excitedly. Odin was stunned for a moment before reacting. "Are you, Thor? Frigga? You're so old." Sealed for thousands of years, Odin recovered immediately after waking up. "Where is that person? The bastard who calls himself Hades?" After waking up, Odin burst out with a strong fighting spirit in an instant. He remembered that he was sealed by a bastard. Just a face-to-face meeting, this bastard sealed himself up. When did the gods of Olympus become so powerful? Hades, isn't Hades the bastard who doesn't like to talk the most among the gods of Olympus? "Father, that person has long been lost. We haven't found him for thousands of years." Odin nodded, then looked behind Thor. "Where's Loki?" "Brother." Dot was attacked by Hela and fell from Bifrost. Hela, upon hearing the name, Odin fell into deep thought. With his ability, he immediately knew the ins and outs of the whole thing. Then Odin ordered, "Rebuild Asgard immediately, and all the soldiers who died must be appeased, and their families will be directly raised by Asgard. I have been sealed for thousands of years, and some jumping beam jokers are also starting to move plus, sending the legions of Soul Castle to the worlds to announce that I am back. As for Thor, go to Midgard." "Yes, father." "New Mexico. Here is a small town on the verge of desert. The town is full of simple residents, and even maintains the characteristics of some early Western cowboys. But today, a strange thing happened. A group of men in black came from afar and almost surrounded the entire town. The leaders are all acquaintances. Phil Coulson agent is stationed in this area with a small team. Report. No abnormal phenomena have been found so far. Well, continue to investigate. 3 days ago, an unusual energy fluctuation appeared over New Mexico. SHIELD, which managed to capture this energy, immediately dispatched agents and special service teams to the area. It is to investigate the abnormal energy fluctuation that suddenly appeared. If it can be absorbed into SHIELD's Avengers plan, it will bring considerable results to the entire group. Small town, bar. A black-haired young man with a little girl and a burly bodyguard is in the bar. Young people don't like to drink, and little girls are not old enough to drink. But the big USD still let the security of the bar let it in. Definitely, although Aaron has no interest in alcohol, Minnows is still a little interested. After this fellow woke up, Awakening had a strange habit of drinking like his life. And this time, they rushed here before the SHIELD people. The purpose is to wait for the arrival of Odin's son, Thor Odinson. "Master, I have captured a special Thunder Force. I think Thor should have descended." This time Thor is not the same as Thor in the movie, who was sent to the earth by Odin. Thor came here with a purpose, to find the villain who sealed his father back then. It's just a pity that it was Aaron's real body who sealed Odin back then. After sealing Odin, Hades' real body fell into a deep sleep. The soul cycled through the 9 realms for thousands of years before being reincarnated on Earth as Aaron. As long as Aaron doesn't do it himself, he won't exude the breath of Hades. After all, the aura of Aaron, who was awakened in the 3rd stage, was far from the level of Hades, who had descended from the real body. Aaron drank tea in the bar, and little Vera followed Aaron's example and took a sip of the tea on the table. At this moment, a rough man with blonde curly hair broke in from outside the house. Then he sat down on the bar counter carelessly, threw out a lot of gold coins in his hand, waved and shouted loudly. "Come on, bring me all the good wine you have here. Remember, if your wine is not strong, be careful that I will smash your store." Aaron stared at the strong man and smiled, but little Vera pouted. This person is so strange. Perhaps it was Vera's voice that attracted Thor's attention. When the spirits were not served, Thor turned his attention to Aaron. "Drinking tea in a bar? You really are a weak chicken. I'm afraid this person is a fool, isn't he? Don't talk, with so many gold coins, he won't be. Go to the police. I believe the police officer should like this kind of person very much, hurry up." Boom. There was a loud noise, and Thor's palm directly slapped the entire table in half. The huge amounts of voice attracted the attention of many people outside. Even members of the SHIELD Special Service Team disguised as tourists were attracted by him. "I am Thor, you ignorant mortals." After finishing speaking, Thor exuded a strong evil spirit and walked towards Aaron. Immediately afterwards, Thor grabbed the table in front of Aaron. "Give it a big kick." Pity, it didn't have any effect. Aaron put his hand on the table, but Thor's incomparably powerful power had no effect at all. "Let go. Do you know who I am? Thor, cub of Odin." Aaron smiled lightly, then picked up the tea on the table and drank it down in one gulp. Boom. Huge amounts of power directly overturned the table at this moment. But between this power and power, a sonic boom formed in the air. The table was blown open. Little Vera's face remained unchanged, and she took Aaron's hand and sat calmly on the side. As expected of the future commander of the Pluto army, he was so calm at such a young age. But Minos on one side stood up abruptly, bursting out with a strong energy all over his body. "Thor. Norse Thor. Why, who are you?" Thor looked at Minos in disdain. He had never seen this kind of unknown junior. "Presumably he is not a master, this kind of person, just dismiss him casually." "Minos, the noble star of the Pluto army, you are disrespectful in front of the young master, so I will punish you." What Minos said made Thor's eyes light up instantly. He is not stupid, he can clearly feel the powerful energy of the bodyguard in front of him. Could it be that some god descended to Midgard and happened to meet him? As soon as the voice fell, a supersonic punch smashed Thor out before Thor could react. Inside the bar, members of the SHIELD Special Service Team took pictures of the scene and passed them on to Phil Coulson. Phil Coulson was taken aback when he saw it. Why is he here? Thor, who was knocked into the air in an instant, didn't expect it at all. How could someone be so rude in the mortal world? At that moment, Thor directly raged. A huge force gathered in an instant, and the breath of Thor's power was released from Thor's body. Boom. Just at the moment, the skies suddenly became cloudy. A terrifying wave of energy emerged from the clouds, and the corners of Aaron's mouth on the sofa raised slightly, and then he walked slowly outside the room. "Master." Obviously, Minos called for a fight. There are not many superheroes in this world who can make the big three shoot, and Thor in front of him is one of them. Thor, as the Aesir Protoss of Asgard, the biological son of god King Odin, possesses the god-given power of Thor. Thor's power of complete awakening can raise Thor's level to level Godfather in an instant. Don't say that Thor is also a wall. The older Aesir is, the more powerful the energy contained in his body will be. That said, Thor is a long-term sandbag. You can completely level up your Pluto army's big three. Who wouldn't like such a dungeon boss? Go. So Aaron nodded directly. This powerful force beyond Earth was immediately detected by SHIELD. Phil Coulson led his team and rushed towards the place where this energy gathered. Boom. Boom. The huge thunder aura erupted in an instant. The entire sky was shrouded in dark clouds, and the light in the bar became extremely dim. The storm is coming, go home and collect your clothes when it rains. The battle is about to start. Thor, who has the power of the second order Thor, and Minos, whose power is not inferior to that of the Golden Saint. Between the two, the sky would fall apart at every turn. It's just that this time it's in Midgard, and Minos was ordered by Aaron not to cause too much damage to the current planet. So the battle between the two is to suppress one's own strength. After Meow was crushed by Hela, Thor went to Nadavi to ask the king of the dwarf clan to rebuild a hammer. After all, Thor with Mjolnir is the real hammer. Powerful energy was instantly released from the new Meow Meow hammer. Minnows immediately noticed it, and then flashed. The power of thunder will tear the earth apart. At this moment, Minnows waved his right hand, and a pitch-black battle armor immediately appeared from his body. Heavenly Noble Star Minnows, see. Thor once again raised Mjolnir and attacked Minnows. In a battle of this level, ordinary superheroes simply cannot intervene. Boom. Thor quickly approached Minnows, and the hammer fell on Minnows' dark clothes. However, the material of the Ming cloth is almost the same as that of the Saint cloth. When this powerful force fell, it not only failed to cause any harm to Mingyi, but was seized by Minnows. Giant wings soaring into the wind, Nirvana. Minnows knocked Thor into the air in an instant, then straddled his feet and stretched out his hands. The wings of Tianguisheng Mingyi spread out at this moment, and a powerful hurricane spread out from it, forming a huge amount of destructive force and rushing out. Layers of gunpowder smoke spread over the entire town. The battle between the two moved from the small town to the desert at this moment. The huge amounts of destructive power directly set off endless mad sand, leaving a huge amount of hole on the ground. Boom. Thor forcefully released the power of Thor, and the huge thunderbolt directly spanned a huge range, bombing down in all directions without distinction. But at this moment, the figure of Minnows disappeared from the lightning, and then appeared behind Thor. You are too careless. With that said, the high-speed fist landed on Thor's back. A burst of powerful energy caught Thor off guard and was directly hammered down from the sky by Minnows. You're lying. It is naturally impossible for the proud Thor to admit defeat, and the strength between the two at this stage is almost the same. It is not a full-scale battle, and there is something hidden between the two. While Minnows was proud, Thor also quickly approached Minnows, and directly used the power he carried. The power of Thor. A wave of huge amounts of energy impacted the past, and Minnows didn't have time to get out of the way. After being hit, it fell from the sky. In the small town, Aaron stood in the air holding little Vera and stared at the battle in front of him. Vera asked cautiously, "Can Brother Minnows win?" Aaron smiled. If Minnows is serious, this battle can indeed be won. But the opponent is Thor, and the future line of this person is difficult to determine, and may even surpass her father Odin. Both of them hide their strength, so the battle in the distance has always been in a state of rigidity. No one can beat anyone, and no one will be the first to admit defeat. Minnows, who was out of breath, stared at Thor, who was also out of breath, with a satisfied smile on the corner of his mouth. You are very good, but today's competition is over. Why, you coward still want to escape? Thor sarcastically dissatisfied. Minnows shook his head and hid the dark clothes on his body. Then he said, "Don't you feel it? There is an unusual breath in the air." There was an extremely annoying smell in the sky, and before the aftermath of the battle dissipated, Aaron took Verla and left from here. What's going on? With such a huge demonic aura, didn't Ancient One take any action? Aaron took Verla and stepped directly into Kamar Taj. However, now there is not a single magician in the entire Kamar Taj. Even Aaron couldn't perceive traces of Ancient One. Could it be that Ancient One was restrained by a more mysterious and powerful existence? The United States, New York. All kinds of people walk up and down the streets, there are migrant workers everywhere, and there are hardworking people exploited by capitalists everywhere. But at this very moment, for unknown reasons, a huge amounts of black holes suddenly opened up in the sky. This hole is like a huge amount of a door, just hovering in the air so quietly, exuding a terrifying aura. Shield, within the helicarrier. Nick Fury is watching all this with great concern, and has already issued an order to ask S.H.I.E.L.'s Secret Service team to approach the door. But at this moment, a huge dark force suddenly rushed out from behind that door. Like a meteorite falling from the sky, it rushed out from behind the door and landed on the ground. Director. It's not good. There's something wrong with that door. The screen urgently switched to the key scene. As the huge amounts of meteorite fell to the ground, some hideous monsters began to appear on the streets of New York. Quick. Go and notify the Avengers. The current Avengers have just been established, and the members are only Iron Man Tony and the Hulk. Together with highly trained agent Natasha Romanoff and her old comrade Barton, the Avengers are only now taking shape. Huge amounts of meteorites fell to the ground and the whole street was turned into lava. Hundreds of 3-meter-high lava demons ran out of it, and then countless sheep-headed demons and bull-headed demons walked out from the demon gate hanging in the sky towards the outside world. In the alien space. The Earth, Sorcerer Supreme Ancient One, is unexpectedly trapped here by 2 other demons from the level Godfather. Dormammu has joined forces with Hell, Two demons with their own ulterior motives want to trap Ancient One here, and then invade the plane where the Earth is located. Ancient One. Now you are trapped by us. Look, this is the Earth you guard. With the appearance of a dark energy, a scene like a water curtain appeared in front of Sorcerer Supreme's eyes. New York. Near the 5 major holy places in London, the Devil's Gate unexpectedly appeared at the same time. Thousands of lava trolls, plus many low-level demon armies jumped out of the Demon Gate. The magician in the holy place was dragged by the phantom in the glacier. This time, Dormammu united Hell. In addition to Mephisto, the king of Hell, there are several other demon lords that are not inferior to the level Godfather in Hell. Don't even think about using your time gem. Even if you did, you can't go back now. A huge amount of shadow appeared in front of Ancient One, and on the other side, a fiery red phantom was also there. Old devil, you have crossed the line. Ha ha ha, Ancient One, it's all your fault for being too stubborn. Above New York, the huge Devil's Gate covered the entire streets of New York. When demons appear, the first to step forward are those soldiers. It's a pity that hot weapons didn't have any effect on the demons. As the battle became more intense, the decline of human beings became more obvious. Just at this time, the human soldiers suddenly felt a tremor on the ground. Immediately a huge amounts of green monster rushed over from behind them. In the sky, a red gold armor also came from a distance, and the patriots aimed at the demons under their feet like money. Boom. The battle is on. Tony and Hulk of Avengers have arrived on the scene, and soon after, Hawkeye Barton and Agent Natasha Romanoff are also in time. However, every place with holy place is dangerous. If there is a devil here, then there will be a devil elsewhere. Dormammu has reached an agreement with many devils in Hell. The Ancient One can't escape, and the trouble is only human beings. Jarvis, how many more? Sir, the locked target is constantly inputting enemies downward. There are too many targets to count. Damn. There is no other way. With the constant army of demons descending on New York, the newly established Avengers are also constantly retreating. But at this moment, a violent sound accompanied by endless thunderclouds landed. I am Thor. There was thunder in the sky, and a hammer with thunder came directly from a distance and landed on the Devil's Gate. Star Puppet Line. It was at this time that countless silk threads were all over the bodies of these demons. As the owner of this line pulled slightly, the bodies of these demons were torn apart. Minos and Thor are coming. However, Minos came one step too late after all. This damned demon actually destroyed Master Hades's famous paintings with the flames of hell. Destroy your lord's gallery, you guys, damn it. Minos stared angrily at the demons in the sky, and then he tore the falling demons into pieces again with his giant wings flying in the wind. Go to the ice hell and confess your sins, giant wings soaring into the wind. Minos' anger is burning. Now he is not at all the Minos who fought back and forth with Thor before. The black Tianguisheng Mingyi is worn on the body, and the powerful underworld small universe bursts out from the whole body. This bottomless dark energy, obviously, Minos at this moment has fully recovered his ability. The Noble Star Minos, one of the 3 giants of the underworld, the Griffin Noble Star Minos, is officially back at this moment. Violent cosmic energy, evil dark universe. It exploded at this moment, giant wings soaring into the wind. Minos no longer had the appearance of a big brother in front of Vera, and he flew into the midair with such a tyranny. The huge hurricane sweeps every gravel in the street, and everything around it is swept together. Violent. Brutal. Iron Man Tony in the sky monitored this scene and had to be the first to evacuate several kilometers from the battlefield. Such a huge force. Roll up the Hulk and just toss the big fat guy aside. At the moment's Hulk wasn't too strong, so he could only stay aside and fell into impotent rage. The violent hurricane prevented Thor from reacting in time, but he immediately swung out his new Meow Meow hammer and smashed it down hard. Boom. The huge amounts of voice came out. The whole ground collapsed. Hundreds of lava trolls below were torn into pieces by the attack of the two at this moment. The meteorite that fell from the sky was smashed into pieces by Minos at this moment. The demon army is still invading this world from the gate of hell. Ancient One, trapped in a different dimension, looked at the crystal-like scene without any panic in his heart. Sorcerer Supreme, you don't have any worries? Some of Mephisto's projections are unclear, and even in this situation, Ancient One didn't respond. Ancient One smiled faintly, and then said, Odin is awake. Odin. Mephisto's projection was startled suddenly. How could Odin not know? In the thousands of years of war, he once led the demon army to cooperate with the giants of Jotunheim and Flame Giant. However, they were still killed by Kur and Odin's God's Domain army and retreated. In addition, the group of gods from the Warner Protoss suddenly joined the battle, which led to the failure of the entire battle. The giants of Jotunheim family was almost wiped out, and now they can only hide in Jotunheim and tremble. The flame giant surrendered directly, and the demon army was severely damaged. So much so that the elemental demon Zatanos died. After hearing this name, Mephisto's projection shook for a while, and then slowly calmed down. Odin. But this time it's not just me who invaded the earth. Unfortunately, the two expressions of panic and nervousness did not appear on Ancient One's face at all. Ancient One did not take any action, but it does not mean that the guardians on the earth did not take any action. As tyranny and darkness constantly leaked out from the gates of hell, the earth began to encounter the biggest nightmare in its life. But at this moment, a larger dark energy slowly descended from a distance. Immediately afterwards, several familiar shadows appeared behind Minos. Lord Minos, Celestial Star Looney and Celestial Beast Star Pharaoh appeared behind Minos at the same time. The two of them landed slowly in the midst of Black Friday, each with a single punch, crushing the demons on the entire land into powder. Little devil, if you don't stay in hell well, why don't you come to the world to find happiness? As Minos' right-hand man, Looney knew exactly what his boss was thinking. Destroying Lord Hades's gallery is equivalent to putting eye drops on Lord Hades. Now, Lord Hades is rushing over from the Arctic glacier. Boom. Right now, a green figure squeezed out from the gate of hell. That huge and fat body surpassed everyone's imagination, and an evil and bloody atmosphere began to permeate the entire New York from this moment. This is an ugly demon. It is stronger than the breath of all the demons that appeared before. The blood of hell was stained on the mixed color green skin, and the violent hell energy radiated wantonly from his body. Satanish. Under the water curtain, Ancient One's face was shocked. Unexpectedly, this time hell united with Dormammu to invade the earth plane. He even sent Satanesh, one of the lords of hell, over here. Although this powerful demon is inferior to Mephisto in terms of ability, he is a real demon of hell lord level. But not only that. The voice fell, and the screen changed. Where the holy place in England was located, a huge amount of claw stretched out from the gate of hell, and suddenly shattered the magic circle of the holy place. In this instant, 3 Pluto fighters of Pluto's armies soared into the sky at the same time. 2 underworld fighters with a 6th sense level, plus a big 3 rivaling gold, rushed up directly. The hurricane that swept across New York directly killed many demons. However, the power of Satanesh is too powerful. This time, he descended in real body, and landed directly in the sky above the gallery. Gia. So this is the world. So much delicious flesh and blood. As he said that, he slapped Minos and Pharaoh away, and then grabbed Looney's head with one hand and squeezed it hard. Boom. It exploded. The Celestial Star Warrior is once again in the hands of the same level Godfather's demons. But at this moment, a burst of cold voice suddenly came from afar. A young man in a black robe and a girl in a long black skirt sat on top of a 3-headed vicious dog. The dense dark universe exploded at this moment. Satanesh, you are so brave. Aaron came down in person, and drove Cerberus down from the sky with Vala. This scene was seen by all the current Avengers. Thor, who was panting on one side, felt a familiar breath from this person. It's him. Thor is a little unsure. After all, the millennium is a little bit long. Millennium is just a short period of time for God Acer, but earth-shaking changes have taken place for human society. Could it be that he is Hades, the underworld king who sealed his father? In fact, the Olympus pantheon of this world has not disappeared. Just because of some reasons, all the gods on the earth began to leave the earth. It is said that this incident is related to the experiment of the Celestial Group, which caused all the gods on the earth to leave the earth and decided not to interfere with the affairs of the earth. Thor is a Norse god, but he has a good relationship with the Greek god Ares. Hades, the king of the underworld, isn't this the uncle of Ares in Greek mythology? But this aura doesn't look like him. After Aaron got off Cerberus, the 3-headed dog turned into a little black and was hugged by Vera. Who are you? Get out. Satanesh didn't know Aaron in front of him at all, but the dark power in Aaron was a bit coveted. Such a powerful energy, if I can get a part of it. Then even without the assistance of Dormammu, he can gain a stronger authority among the divided hell forces. As the Lord of Hell, Satanesh, although this time agreed to Mephisto's request. But he is also an ambitious person. He has his own ambitions for power and power control. At the moment, Mephisto and Dormammu are holding down Ancient One. Isn't it the time for me to come to the world to show my talents? As long as I took the lead in taking down the stronghold of the earth, in the future hell will counterattack heaven, and even destroy heaven is entirely under my guidance. But at this moment, Suddenly, such a terrifying figure appeared in front of him. The momentum exuding from his body is not inferior to that of Mephisto. The existence of this dark faction with great power, which Mephisto is it? Aaron walked towards the gate of hell step by step, and Satanesh's huge amounts of body was stuck in the gate, without any move to get out. In front of Lord Hades, you dare to be presumptuous. At this moment, Looney walked out of the gallery, which surprised Satanesh in front of him. What happened? Wasn't this person pinched to death by himself? Why is it resurrected again? What is this doing? When Looney, who committed crimes, investigated the Arctic Phantom for the first time, he was crushed to death by a black hand. And now it was crushed to death by Satanesh as an appetizer. And it was still in front of Aaron's eyes. Minos of Tiangi Star wants to send his subordinate directly into the extremely cold hell, freezing him for 110 years, so that he can have a long memory. Shame. Shame on the Pluto army. However, after Looney's introduction, a huge dark breath torn the air directly appeared from Aaron's body. Immediately afterwards, an ancient and mysterious long sword appeared in Aaron's hands. At this moment, Satanesh suddenly froze. He remembered not long ago, that sword light that pierced through the 9 realms and directly hit the depths of hell. The flag emanating from the sword light, and the aura on the sword tightly held by the little man in front of him. It is exactly the same. In a short moment, Aaron made a move. You shouldn't violate my territory, understand? Then Aaron waved his right hand gently, and a terrifying breath directly lingered in the entire New York sky. You trampled on my paintings and stood on top of my gallery. This is sin. After the words fell, a sword light that pierced the space directly cut the gate of hell in half. Before Satan escaped from the gate of hell, he was directly forced behind the gate of hell by this terrifying breath. Above the lava field, countless army of demons are waiting here for Lord Satanesh's call, but at such a moment. As if desperate, Satanesh frantically fled from the direction of the gate of hell towards his own domain. But, if you can escape, the monk cannot escape from the temple, and the sword of Hades is a cursed sword. Just cut it out. There must be blood. Countless demon armies were directly pitted by Satanesh, and the dark breath directly killed tens of thousands of demon armies. The gates of hell have disappeared, leaving the streets of New York City in ruins. Countless innocent people died and were wounded under the sweep of the demon army. Many people were also affected by the attacks of Minos and others. Aaron didn't know what would happen afterwards, but Aaron knew that this time things were far from over. There is news from Dalamandes that the Phantom is trying to enter this place through the last gate of hell. Aaron slowly flew into the sky, and then glanced in front of him. The demon of level Godfather appears. Dalamandes is no match. Since these people from hell have started to provoke me, Minos obeys the order. The heavenly noble star Minos suddenly shook, and at that moment, Hades, who symbolized the king of the underworld, seemed to have returned to this world. Call all the revived magic stars and reinforce Dalamandes. Wait. Join me in the crusade against hell. I would like to see how this hell is different from the created hell. I'm with you. Thor came to find Hades, and this person suspected of Hades appeared in front of his eyes. How could he not follow him to figure it out? You? Aaron didn't speak, but Minos looked suspiciously at Thor beside him. You are a Norse god. What are you doing by our side? This Midgard is in the 9 realms, and it is my Asgard territory. Mephisto led his army to invade Midgard, which is a provocation to us Asgardians. We're not here to play, we're here to conquer hell. I am Thor, son of Odin, for the glory of the gods of the north. Unfortunately, before the words fell, a huge amount of energy directly rolled up the bodies of several underworld fighters on the ground and headed north. God of the north, your strength is not enough, you should call more people. The figure has disappeared, but the voice is still in my ears. Thor gripped the new Meow hammer tightly, and then looked into the distance. There is no end to this matter. The army of hell invaded Midgard. Just like the army of the giants of Jotunheim conquered by the father, they are all touching the territory of Asgard. This matter must be returned to Asgard immediately to tell the father that he will also lead the Soul Castle army to attack hell. At this moment, the Arctic glaciers are in darkness. The nearest village here was sacrificed, and the magician of Kamar Taj came here after learning about it. God knows who it is, to sacrifice with the blood of a small town. Summoned the devil from hell, which continues to this day. Originally thought that this was just a simple devil invasion. After being solved by the magicians, it will be much better. Who knew that this was an agreement between Dormammu and the lords of hell? The purpose is very simple, to swallow the whole earth with the power of hell. As time went by, Kamar Taj's magician gradually failed. Tian Yingzhou, who was investigating the ghost, accidentally exuded the aura of the underworld warrior on his body, attracting a terrifying demon in hell. Without saying a word, the demon crushed Looney to death. This demon was Satanesh, who was frightened away by Aaron's sword. The tyrannical black fog of hell has completely enveloped the sky in a radius of 10 miles. At this moment, a man in dark armor like a wyvern was facing a demon with flames all over his body, and he was constantly retreating behind him. Cut. Isn't it a demon? Dalamandes looked at the demon in front of him with disdain, and the demon exuded a terrifying aura. Gold level combat power. Each of the big three has a fighting power equal to that of gold. But I don't know if it's because of the suppression of the world's development or what, after being resurrected for so long, my energy still can't be restored to the top level. Therefore, Dalamandes is currently using the fighting power of a second-rate saint. Bearing the name of a first-class underworld fighter, confront this demon with at least golden combat power. Greatest caution. Maximum alert. Dalamandes immediately gathered and strengthened the dark universe, gathering all his strength on his fists. Like a machine gun, hundreds of dark shockwaves directly and constantly attacked the demon in front of him. However, this demon released a more powerful fighting spirit. You are a good opponent. Unfortunately, you met me, Duke. The Hell Lord in front of him is Duke Ma with the title of Pillar God. He used to be a god, but after being deprived of his divinity, he used human souls as food, so that he fell into Mephisto. This is the ironclad level Godfather demon. As the former level Godfather, other gods, even if the divinity is gone, they still have a powerful realm. Facing Dalamandes' Nirvana, Duke Ma was burning with terrifying hellfire. He tried to melt the entire glacier in order to destroy more enemies. It's not enough, you can say it doesn't matter. God has seen it before, and he has even assassinated a real god. In Lord Hades' Hellworld, low-level objects like demons are not qualified to talk to themselves at all. Ma Duke, right? To be honest, you are not as good as Garen. After finishing speaking, Dalamandes intends to die together with the demon in front of him, trying to restore the dignity of the Pluto army. But at this moment, from all directions, more than a dozen black shadows flew towards this direction from the sky. Dalamandes didn't react at all. Immediately afterwards, Looney, the star of the sky, and Pharaoh, the star of the sky, descended from the sky. Then, a wave of extreme cold struck, directly annihilating the flames of hell. Minnows swept huge amounts of black whirlwind and fell from a distance, exuding a dark universe that was not inferior to Dalamandes. Dalamandes, Lord Hades is here, please come and pick him up. Lord Hades? On the opposite side, Ma Duke has not yet reacted. Then, above the dark sky, a three-headed hellhound exuding hellfire came down from the clouds with two people on its back. Skystar Dalamandes, see Lord Hades, well, get up. An invisible force lifted Dalamandes up, and Aaron stared coldly at the flaming demon body. Do the lords of hell like to use this kind of duplication to descend? After all, just using those indifferent blue eyes directly made this energy-transformed body disappear into a cloud of smoke. Duke Ma's duplication disappeared, and Minnows walked indifferently to the dozen or so recovered fighters. Then came Aaron's order. Master has orders. All the fighters of the Underworld King army, follow us to hell and fight against the lords of hell. Under the call of Aaron, the Pluto army began to walk slowly towards the direction of the gate of hell. Currently, the magic star in the revived Pluto army. The Tiangong Jie is the second of the three giants. Dalamandes of Tianmingxing, Minnows of Tianguisheng. As for the rest of the Tiangong Ming fighters, there are also Balandine from the Heavenly Cry Star, Looney from the Tianying Star, and Pharaoh from the Celestial Beast Star. As well as the Celestial Star Karen who guides the soul to the underworld, and Byret, a female underworld fighter hidden in the shadow of Aaron. That is to say, how many ghost fighters under the command of the Big Three have recovered and returned to their positions. As Aaron's aura became stronger and stronger, the mysterious power suppressing the other magic stars would gradually lose its effect. It is very possible that after returning from conquering the underworld, the 108 underworld fighters will return to their positions again. In the eyes of Athena and 12 golds, the return of 108 magic stars represented the day when the Holy War started again. Set off. Aaron took Vera and sat on Cerberus. During this time, Pandora's fate began to gradually recover. Vera also gradually became similar to Pandora, occasionally talking and laughing, but gradually began to become calm. Hades' army, Pandora. Coupled with Hades, the god king who rules the underworld, this power cannot be underestimated in this world. The gates of hell connect to the vast demon field. This is the quietest place in the entire hell, and it is also a place that the army of hell will definitely use when conquering other worlds. The moment when Minnows stepped out of the gate of hell first. An extremely hot breath began to blow towards the face gradually. Is this the plane of hell? it doesn't look any different. This hell is not that hell. The underworld and hell established by Pluto are the places to absorb the purest souls in the world. People with impure souls will be reincarnated after being judged in various hells. The decedent with a pure soul will turn into a half-god and half-human fairy under the gift of the gods, and live in the legendary Pure Land of ultimate bliss. This Pure Land of bliss, even Minos, who is the Big Three, can only be seen in a distant dream. Hell, in Duke's domain. Damn it. Mephisto. What the hell are you doing? The angry devil roared impotently in his castle. How could he not know Hades' name? As the former Asgardian of ancient Babylon, he also has the name of the Father of God. But after being deprived of his divinity, he fell into hell. This is still fighting Hades. How could he defeat his duplication at a glance? The Hades I know doesn't have this kind of power. It doesn't matter. This old devil must have made some kind of deal with Dormammu, and wants to annex the territories of our other lords. You have to contact the other lords immediately, or the old bastard Mephisto will dominate the family, and it will be bad. On the field of demons, accompanied by Minos, Dalamandes and others slowly entered this world. A huge amount of 3 hellhounds carried Aaron and Vera slowly through the gate of hell and came to this wilderness. The surrounding atmosphere really makes people very uncomfortable. It seemed that Vera couldn't bear this breath, and the small universe that was constantly exuding darkness was resisting. Aaron waved his hand lightly, and after wrapping a layer of enchantment on Vera's body, he walked down from Cerberus' body. Grown-ups. After leaving the human world, Minos and Dalamandes decisively changed their names in the human world, and stood behind Aaron more respectfully. Is this the same world, but different planes? The universe is so vast, even if he used to be Pluto, he is only a slightly famous god among the gods of Olympus. On top of their pantheon, there used to be the Titan god who was in charge of the power of the world. There are even ancient gods and creation gods and other worlds that I have never seen before. With the disappearance of Zeus, I always thought that he was following the trail left by the Father God. As long as the secret of the Father God is solved, they will gain even greater mysteries of the universe. That kind of power far surpassing the small universe is not the will of the gods, but another kind of ability. Scatter. As Aaron's voice fell, with a thought in his mind, the huge black mist that surrounded him was dissipated in an instant. The law of hell has no effect on Hades at all. Even more information can be obtained in this hell, which can be used to reach the 4th stage of awakening. Is this hell? It feels different from our hell. Definitely different. Haven't you seen the danger of this world? There is not a single human soul here, and there is a terrifying aura everywhere. More than a dozen underworld fighters looked at the world in front of them behind Aaron. But at the moment, the small universe belonging to Aaron began to be displayed slowly. This is Lord Hades' domain. Boom. At this moment, an unusual lightning appeared on the peaceful demon field for a long time. The lightning fell down instantly, forming a black throne on the ground. Then, Aaron sat up on it. My strength is restored. Tian Yingxing Lu Ni instantly felt the powerful energy gathered in his body. As long as he waved his fist, it was enough to destroy a continent. Clang. Pharaoh also plucked his own strings, and the soul-stirring tone became even more powerful than before. Thank you, Lord Hades. Minos and Dalamandes knelt down instantly. Aaron, who opened the Hades domain, sat on the chair, slowly raised his finger and pointed into the distance. Go. Take Mephisto's royal city for me. In the alien space, Mephisto, who is called the King of Hell, is very anxious at the moment. I and Dormammu are dragging Ancient One in this alien space. But who would have thought that Ancient One happened to restrain himself in Dormammu? The current hell has fallen into chaos after he left. Hell, on the Devil's Field. An ancient castle suddenly appeared here, which was fabricated out of thin air with Aaron's divine power. Aaron sat alone on his throne, and Xiao He was held in Vera's hands without daring to breathe. Master Hades, what is this? Vera has also started to call Aaron Hades gradually recently. It seems that Pandora's fate has gradually taken over the little girl's heart. Mirror of the world. An ability to project the scene on the planet through the light curtain created by its own small universe. With the appearance of this ability, no matter how far the distance is, even if the planets are separated by billions of light years, the light curtain can display what happened above. On the mirror of the world at the moment, what appeared was the power of a small wave of Pluto army led by Dalamandes. The weakest of them are those Earth demon stars. But this weakest magic star has also reached the 6th sense level in the Saint Seiya system. Coupled with the fact that they each have different abilities, Aaron is very optimistic about this battle. Because he was unfamiliar with hell, Dalamandes carefully led a group of underworld fighters to test from the right. There are many demon lords in hell, and Mephisto, as a powerful flame demon of the level Godfather, lives in a relatively harsh place. Just at this time, Dalamandes keenly sensed an unusual aura, and immediately grinned. Prepare. The Tiangong and Disha demon stars behind them got ready one after another, followed Dalamandes and walked forward. Master Dalamandes, you are a group of demons. A group of underworld fighters appeared on a small mountain peak, and looking around, there were tens of thousands of low-level demons discussing something below. Demon Legion, get ready, we will give Lord Hades face before Minos. Good. Hearing this, everyone's life is good, smiles appeared on their faces. Lord Hades is their god. For the dignity of the gods I believe in, it is also a very good thing to use this group of low-level demon army as a blood sacrifice. As a result, more than a dozen underworld fighters jumped down from the top of the mountain one after another. Among the demon army, a few medium-level demons with a little bit of wisdom suddenly felt a fresh taste of flesh and blood. He put the broth in his hand on the ground, picked up his big iron plate from the ground and stood up. Outsiders. Still alive. Ha 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 ha. There are fresh flesh and blood here, take them down for me, and dedicate them to the leader of the legion. These colorful demons, even the underworld fighters who have seen a lot of the world, feel disgusted. Especially this medium-level demon, with green pus flowing from his body, looks very disgusting. That's it. A Ming fighter who looked a little bit sharp-toothed and sharp-mouthed stood up first, and then waved his fist in disdain. Howling Inferno. Hellscream. A powerful small universe immediately appeared, a powerful energy similar to a sound wave, instantly blowing away most of the demon army in front of him. Felikias, leave us some. The person who made the move was the underworld fighter who was guarding the fourth hell, the Jackal Feligias of the Heavenly Sin planet. The source of his name comes from the same place as the Bronze Saint Cloth Jackal. The powerful energy release announced that the first battle of the Pluto army has officially begun. The behavior of Felikias made the demons of this group of demon legions furious. A green flying dragon appeared directly from the middle of the legion. Followed by an army of large and small griffins, these flight demons swaggered towards this side to kill. The endless flames of hell didn't care about the low-level demons below, and directly vented towards Felicias. Rotary bombing impact. With the appearance of this trick, a large number of huge stones condensed from the dark universe immediately appeared in the sky. Then it slammed down on these demons. Good duck. The field of hell, in the city of Hades. Vera, who was holding Xiao He, clapped her hands excitedly, and Xiao He fell out of Vera's arms in dissatisfaction, baring her teeth viciously towards the outside. Wow. Woof. Woof woof. In this army of demons, there are not only low-level demons. There are also quite a few medium-level demons, and even high-level demons exist. Among this group of demons, the evil dragon can only be regarded as a medium-level demon. Above this green evil dragon, there is a more powerful dragon. However, this army of tens of thousands of demons never expected. These flesh and blood foods that suddenly appeared could have such a powerful force, directly destroying the tens of thousands of demon troops, leaving less than half of them. Quick. Go and report to Lord Blackheart. After finishing speaking, a large number of demons rushed in the direction behind them. Behind him is the territory of the Black Heart demon. Lord Blackheart is so powerful, he can deal with these strange monsters in front of him. Want to leave? You demons are the record of our Pluto army? Lord Dalamandes and Lord Minos have reached an agreement. Whoever hits the royal city of Mephisto first will treat him to drink for a month. Including the underworld fighters under the two adults this time, they are all counted among them. You guys, have you ever asked about the giant axe in my hand? See Gordon, the prison star. As the direct subordinate of Dalamandes, he has a power not inferior to the purple dragon's sacred sword in his hands. Gordon possesses a powerful arm, coupled with the strength of the Minotaur axe on his right arm. It is enough to completely keep the group of demons in front of him here. Grand Axe Crusher. With a burst of anger from Gordon. I saw the earth suddenly fall. The entire ground collapsed completely, huge amounts of cracks created endless lava, and some low-level demons were directly shocked to death by this powerful force. With a little luck, he fell into the lava and was completely engulfed by the hot lava. At this moment, nearly half of the demons suffered a terrifying attack again. The army of demons with less than 3,000 people now has less than 1,000 people left. This demon army is dead. Before those underworld fighters from Earthfiend could make a move, Tiangang's underworld fighters killed this group of demons first. Dalamandes stood calmly on the hillside, staring at the appearance of a powerful force in the distance. Are you finally willing to show up? A powerful shockwave was launched directly towards his distance. Along the way, the remaining hell demons were completely turned into powder by the restored Dalamandes at this moment. The power of gold, has reached the level of the sub-heavenly father. Even more powerful, if he can get the divine blood of Lord Hades, he can completely surpass the heavenly father of this world. Give it to me. Get out. In the distance, Ge Dun and the other underworld fighters of Tiangong stopped their actions of killing demons. A tyrannical and evil aura slowly walked towards them not far away. After all, they are also powerful underworld fighters, but this figure can be hidden so that they can't feel it at all. The sky in the distance was shrouded in a black-purple smoke. Then, an ugly phantom slowly walked out of it. This monster has Medusa-like hair, huge amounts of tail behind the hips, and the strong muscles of the whole body far exceed those of the previous army. This breath. Dalamandes was taken aback, he naturally knew this breath. This is the law energy that can only be possessed by high-level demons. This hell devil is very likely to be a certain lord in hell. Dear strong man, welcome to my domain. A lord, Minos, you lost. Dalamandes laughed loudly, he didn't care about the face of the demon in front of him at all, he only knew that the bet between himself and Minos had won more than half. Take the lead in attacking the city of the king of hell, or destroy more hell lords. These are all in the bet between Dalamandes and Minos. This demon exudes a powerful hell energy, far surpassing all previous demons combined. Those bright red eyes are filled with killing, blood and greed. This kind of hateful soul, presumably Pharaoh should like it better. It's a pity that he is by Minos' side at the moment. Report your name. Although Dalamandes disdained it, he still stared at the monster in front of him vigilantly and asked. The moment Dalamandes spoke, the underworld fighters had already surrounded the demon. I am the future king of hell, you can call me Black Heart. Black demon? He must be the black-hearted lord that those demons said. Thinking of this, Dalamandes instantly understood. Turn out to be the king of hell? The future? At this moment, Dalamandes's body did not reveal any aura, but the Black Heart demon knew that the human being in front of him was not so easy to mess with. Yes. As long as I can kill my father. Having said this, He Shin suddenly raised his brows and smiled. How about a strong human being? Would you like to cooperate with me, and when I become the king of hell, I can give you a piece of territory in this hell? There is such a good thing. Dalamandes laughed loudly, even Aaron, who was in Hades' city, felt a little harsh. Unfortunately, Master Hades ordered me to slaughter you demons. Saying that, the huge dark universe was released at this moment. The Black Heart demon's already livid face became even uglier now. Isn't this aura that came from the devil's field before? Presumptuous. You, a human being, are so ignorant of etiquette. The Black Heart demon was furious. He originally thought that this so-called strong man just wanted to make a fortune in hell. After all, human life is very limited. But as long as a contract is signed with the devil can give humans a longer lifespan. But now, the human being in front of him actually disobeyed his words. Damn it. Damn it. When did I say that I am a human being? I am under the command of Lord Hades, the Pluto army Tianshangxing, Wyvern, Dalamandes. Dalamandes? Before the Black Heart demon could react, he heard a sentence. For Hades' army, for Lord Hades, greatest caution, greatest alert. The powerful dark universe instantly covered the body of the Black Heart demon, and countless dark shockwaves aimed at the Black Heart demon's body without any dead ends. Then directly hit the past. This is the greatest vigilance, the most powerful esoteric skill of Dalamandes. All the small universes burst out and turned into countless energy waves. The waves of dark energy in all directions directly locked onto the Black Heart demon in front of him, preventing him from having any place to leave. As the cub of Mephisto, the king of hell, Black Heart has powerful hell law power. And has a powerful regeneration ability. Most of the damage on the body can be regenerated. It can even survive without food and water. This point is beyond the reach of human beings. Even if it is the existence of Ancient One, Sorcerer Supreme, once the body and soul are injured, they will die. However, the devil will not. As expected of a demon from hell, Mephisto's cub ability isn't bad. It's a pity that what I met today was Dalamandes, one of the 3 giants of the underworld who is as powerful as a golden saint. The strongest warrior loyal to Hades exploded in an instant. Boom. A burst of weird black energy shockwaves were released from Black Heart's body, trying to counteract the dark shockwave condensed by the powerful dark universe. This time, it was a battle between 2 almost level sub-god fathers. But the power of Dalamandes seems to be even better. The power of Dalamandes has reached level Godfather farewell at this moment. It's easy to crush Black Hearts. Under this powerful energy, He Shin's body was gradually forced to the ground by the endless waves of dark energy. Etc. At this moment, He Shin immediately changed his views on these underworld fighters, and began to beg for mercy. Don't kill me. As long as you help me become the king of this hell, I will lead the whole hell to serve you. Allegiance? To me? Dalamandes sneered disdainfully. This monster in front of me is really ridiculous, it wants to be loyal to me. By this time, he was still sowing discord between himself and Lord Hades. How stupid must this be to think of such a way? Yes. Respected strong man, I think you came to this hell not only to destroy some devils, but also to prove your strength. At this moment, He Shin didn't know what his situation was like. The one in front of me is the fierce star who will be loyal to Hades even if he dies. As long as you join forces with me and other hell lords to destroy my father together, I will not only hand over his territory to you. I will lead all my subordinates to evacuate from the demon field. As long as you are here, we will never invade that plane. Speaking of this, He Shin was amused by his wonderful idea. What do you think, respected strong man? Blackheart is the son of Mephisto, but he hates his father very much. In addition, hell has always been a place where strength is the most important, so if I can find such a helper, I will destroy Mephisto and all those who do not listen to me. So what if he pretended to submit to this person's subordinates? That's a good idea. Dalamandes folded his hands in his arms and nodded lightly. Then he looked at the devil in front of him with a pitiful expression and said coldly. Unfortunately, I, Dalamandes, will only serve Lord Hades in this life. You are so strong, but still loyal to others? He Shin satirized with disdain after hearing this. Just Hades, I know, that trash god of Olympus. At this moment, the heat in the air suddenly disappeared without a trace. Blackheart was horrified to find out that the one in front of him. An even more intense black halo shone on the armor on his body. Dalamandes is angry. Angry to the point that the small universe erupted directly, instantly surpassed the existence that Blackheart could understand. The strong file-size universe gathered all over his body gathered on the fist of his right hand at this moment. Didn't perform any nirvana, just such a single small universe. Condensed in an instant, exploded in an instant. Then, he punched it out. Boom. There was thunder in the sky of hell, and a purple lightning bolt pierced the barrier of air in the dark sky. Moment. Dalamandes has become extremely powerful. You. What are you doing? If you are not satisfied with the conditions, we can continue to talk. At this moment, He panicked. I can easily feel the aura emanating from this strong man in front of me, and I must not get close. With such a powerful force, I am afraid that his father came in person. Can't get any benefits. The terrifying aura emanating from the man in front of him, and the purple lightning that suddenly appeared in the sky. Once touched, even if you have the ability to instantly recover from injuries, you will die. Talk? Dalamandes smiled faintly, then shook his head and said. The request is very simple. Real. As the aura on Dalamandes' body slowly dissipated, Blackheart became excited instantly. This powerful force. Part of the Hell Lords have been suppressed. As long as you can get the help of this person, then unite with other Hell Lords to occupy the entire hell, and finally hit the Father's royal city. Ha 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 ha. Hell. It's my Blackheart. Master Hades has an order, let me kill you disgusting bugs. And you insulted Lord Hades as a bug before. Insulting Lord Hades is insulting our Pluto army. After finishing speaking, a speed that is completely invisible to the naked eye immediately passed through He Shin's body. A burst of terror passed away in a flash. Why are you talking to me about this? In this black-hearted inadvertence, Dalamandes' attack rushed over directly. Those who insult Lord Hades, kill. Those who insult the Pluto's army will also be killed. As soon as the words fell, He Shin's huge body fell down. The powerful small universe was so overwhelming that Blackheart didn't even have the ability to restore the wound, so he just fell on the spot with the lava from hell, turned into magma and disappeared completely. Want to cooperate with Hades' army? You are not worthy. On the devil field, in the city of Hades. Vera stroked Xiao Hei's head, trying to play his pitch-black harp on the side. And in the middle of the castle, Aaron looked away from the world. At the moment Blackheart was killed, Aaron keenly captured an energy beyond Blackheart coming from a farther place. Aaron just stood up. Without saying a word, Dalamandes in the mirror rushed forward with his fists in the direction of the terrifying aura. In the eyes of Dalamandes, apart from Mr. Hades, there are only powerful enemies that are enough to interest him. Those low-level demons can't arouse any interest at all. As for feelings, Dalamandes has no such thing in his heart. He is different from Garuda, he is a man who really has no feelings. Except for Lord Hades. Only strong power is his only hope to survive. The rest of the things are all false existences. But after killing the black heart monster, who is it? Dare to kill our lord on the right territory. A deep voice came from afar, mixed with the berserk breath of hell, directly appearing not far away. In the black mist, such a powerful energy exploded constantly. I see, it turned out to be you. The familiar breath came again, and Dalamandes instantly recognized the owner of this breath. You have already made a move, why don't you show your true face? This person is the hateful devil who almost suppressed himself outside the gate of hell. Fortunately, the arrival of Lord Hades shocked this demon away. Otherwise, as one of the 3 giants of the underworld, I will embarrass the great Lord Hades. When this familiar voice appeared again, how could Dalamandes not be angry? Boom. At this moment, the powerful small universe in Dalamandes exploded in an instant. A layer of huge amounts of dark small universe instantly lingered on the Mingyi. The deep and fearful breath appeared first. Frightening energy mixed with Mie Xing's fist and charged directly towards the breath of hell. Right now, a devil-like devil came slowly from the depths of that hell. A dark green portal with countless magic runes appeared directly above Dalamandes's head, and then he shot suddenly. A pair of claws directly knocked Dalamandes down from the sky. This terrifying aura surprised all the underworld fighters present. The terrifying power of hell far surpassed the energy of the dark universe in Dalamandes. Is this the demon lord of the top-level godfather? You bastard. Dalamandes angrily tried to rush into the sky again. The power of this person surpassed himself once again. It turns out that you are a little thing. If you don't want to stay in the human world and play well, why don't you send me here to study your soul for me? The old thing appeared, exuding a very disgusting smell. The breath of an ugly soul. After wiping the residual blood from the corner of his mouth, Dalamandes stared coldly at the devil in front of him. Horse Duke? I am Hell Satan, the real king of hell. The endless breath of hell came from around him, suppressing the underworld fighter in front of him, unable to move. This hateful demon lord is hiding in the phantom at this moment, and has no intention of revealing his true appearance at all. With his coming, the flames of hell began to vent. It seems to be welcoming their lord to come. That disgusting voice came again. I didn't expect that you actually killed the little guy Hei Shin. Mephisto should thank you well, after all, no one would be comfortable with such a cub who wants to kill his father every day, right? So, I will accept your soul first. After the voice fell, the whole ground began to tremble violently. The ground exploded instantly. The strength of this terrifying hell power is even more terrifying than the ground that Gordon cut off with his giant axe. In an instant, without even seeing the enemy make a move, the ground directly exploded to reveal the magma in the center of the earth, and it constantly spewed out towards the top. The entire sky seemed to be torn apart by a mysterious force. The endless dark and crimson hell backgrounds are revealed. This point is just to show the power of this demon. At this moment, the endless hellfire fell directly from the sky, and the target was the group of hellfighters in dark clothes in front of them. The souls of these underworld fighters are the best supplements for Duke Ma. This breath is too terrifying. The weaker earth-shaming fighters directly knelt on the ground on one knee, but they were still struggling to support their bodies. This powerful coercion made them unable to stand upright at all. However, Dalamandes is an existence that can fight against gold. This godlike power is just a small threat to him. My underworld fighter can kneel, only Lord Hades. After saying this, Dalamandes stood up. The small universe that was burning all over his body exploded in an instant, and the black Mingyi exploded into his original color at this instant. Wyvern power, far from reaching the end. Insulting the Pluto army. Those who insult Lord Hades can only die. Maximum alert. The small universe instantly condensed into a powerful wave of dark energy, blasting directly at the devil in front of him. Clang. But at this moment, the old devil stretched out his hand, and a transparent energy barrier appeared in front of his eyes, directly defending Dalamandes' strongest blow. Lord Dalamandes. Hellscream. Naturally, the underworld fighters would not watch Dalamandes being bombed, and immediately surrounded them, and cast their powerful ultimate secrets. Pity. The strength of every underworld fighter is doomed. Unless Hades let these magic stars cultivate a more powerful small universe. Otherwise, their strength will never surpass the big 3. But if you want to get the gift from Lord Hades, how much contribution you have to make? Snort. A huge amount of energy fell from the sky, and it belonged to other demonic powers of the level Godfather, instantly killing these underworld fighters. Damn it. Dalamandes got up from the ground, his face was completely covered in blood. Could it be that my own war is over here? Minos, the dignity of the Pluto army is about to be handed over to you. Although he can be resurrected, Dalamandes really has no face to continue leading the soldiers of the Pluto army to the depths of hell. As the Big Three, I was delayed by a guy like you, it is unacceptable. To the Big Three. No. As long as I am still in the Pluto army, I will definitely keep you here. Dalamandes rushed straight up. The power of the level Godfather demon was directly under the hands of the old devil, and it waved towards the face of Dalamandes. This is the power of law. Okay, it's time to end. At this moment, a familiar and cold voice appeared in Dalamandes' ears. Eren is here. A burst of extreme dark energy directly across the sky. In an instant, the breath of the demon lord in front of him was crushed, and the pressure on Dalamandes was dissipated. Master Hades. This subordinate is guilty and failed to continue the conquest, please punish me. With Eren coming, his life is not in danger. Dalamandes knew that his conquest of hell had failed, and thought it was because of his own ability, so he thought of asking Lord Hades to punish him. However, Eren didn't pay attention to himself at all. Instead, he stared at the devil hidden in the mist with more interest, and used his perception to feel some nearby aura that was about to move. There are a lot of people around here, Dalamandes, stand up, this time you won't be wronged. Around here, there are actually quite a few powerful auras hidden. Judging from its hidden aura, there are at least 3 existences at the level similar to Duke Ma. The powerful demon lords are all such peeping juniors. Thinking about it, it should be Dalamandes' sudden burst of cosmic energy that attracted some high-level demon lords in this hell. But they were a little afraid of the mighty strength of the horse duke in front of them, so they all hid in the dark and did not make a move. After all, they are all devils from hell. Whoever gets the soul of Dalamandes first will be the first to study the mysteries in the soul of Dalamandes. But they can't allow Duke Ma to monopolize it alone, if Dalamandes really came alone this time. I am afraid that after defeating Dalamandes, these demons will take action to snatch it. It's just a pity that no one can get the soul of the underworld fighter except himself. A dead underworld warrior would never die without the seal of the Muluanzi pearl. Eren waved his hand lightly. A trace of a pure spirit flew towards Eren, without any fear, but showing some intimacy. Eren is the purest person in the world, and a pure soul likes to be close to him the most. By absorbing human souls to forcibly maintain the godhead that I have lost, you, the Heavenly Father, are nothing more than that. Eren waved his hand lightly, and the black mist in front of him dissipated immediately. A devil with the appearance of an old man appeared in front of his eyes, looking very embarrassed with his hunched body. It looks very pitiful, but it is also very hateful. I feel that there are so many hateful things. Duplication is not very good, is it necessary to hide even your real body? The moment the old man's real body appeared, the law of the whole hell was mobilized under his aura. Hell lords, big and small, have comprehended certain laws of hell, where they can fully display their powerful abilities. But after leaving hell, without the blessing of hell's buff, their strength will soon become much worse than before. That's why the duplication of this old ghost fought with Dalamandes for so long on the earth, and he didn't kill Dalamandes directly. Enough. The old devil is angry, it's a human being. As an old guy who has lived in hell for countless years, how could he not see the true appearance of this person in front of him? When the deity is a god on the earth, human beings are still eating grass. A mere human being dares to be so presumptuous in front of himself. This is not only a provocation to the Lord of Hell, but also a provocation to hell in this plane. Ignorant mortals, to forgive your ignorance, immediately sacrifice your soul to the great satanic Duke of Hell. The name Hell Satan does not only refer to one person. Any lord in hell who is interested in getting the name King of Hell can call himself Hell Satan. Definitely, the strength is very strong. And the old devil in front of him is the stronger part of these lords. A decayed body should be buried in the wheel of history. Duke Ma, you shouldn't be alive. From the moment Duke Ma appeared, Eren had completely acquired the identity of the devil in front of him. Although the whole person looks very kind, but judging from the disgusting soul power contained in his body, this demon has done many outrageous things. In hell, there will be a place for you. After the words fell, Duke Ma angrily attacked Eren in front of him. Powerful energy burst out from Duke Ma's body in an instant, and the thick and evil breath of hell was calling his name in Eren's ears all the time. The devil is the devil. At the beginning of the game, I started to use this ability to tempt people to fall. Pity. When Duke Ma moved to Eren's side in an instant, he planned to take away the man's soul instantly. The enemy in front of me disappeared. However, you are no longer the former Heavenly Father God. Heavenly Father, God? The moment this name appeared, Duke Ma's soul shook instantly. What? This man knows his original identity. Omniscient and omnipotent is an ability originally possessed by Hades, the king of Hades. Although not as good as Zeus, the emperor of heaven, he still knows the origin of a mere horse duke. Who are you? Only the sorcerer supreme ancient one with the eye of Agamotto on earth can see his past with time magic. Apart from ancient one, it is absolutely impossible for anyone to know his identity. Hades? Is this man really the Hades that Delicious Soul said? It is impossible for Hades of the Olympus pantheon not to know himself, an old guy, and an evil monster. It is absolutely impossible for him to produce such a pure soul, absolutely impossible. Aaron stood indifferently in the sky, and the dark energy emanating from his body made all the demon lords around him dare not approach him proactively. The god king of ancient Babylon has also been reduced to the devil of hell. As if, these words appeared in Duke Ma's ears like a taboo. In an instant, Duke Ma's anger was ignited. A terrifying aura that surpassed the combined energy of all the nearby hell lords was instantly released by Duke Ma. Horse Duke is angry. Horse Duke started to attack. Ma Duke came directly in front of Aaron with a flash. You are not worthy to be my enemy, go away. The appearance of this scrolling word, the way of speaking is usually accompanied by a torrent of torrents and directly blasted past. With such a powerful force, Duke Ma was instantly shaken away from his eyes. Ma Duke's strength is naturally not weak, it's just that the breath erupting from Aaron's body is too strong. Today's Aaron has already belonged to the awakening approaching the fourth stage, and the small universe of the underworld will appear directly when he moves. With the power of a world, Duke Ma is naturally not enough to watch. But at this moment Duke Ma represents the real power of hell. Aaron's reason for attacking hell was not that noble, and it didn't exist for the reason of destroying evil spirits. He just wanted to capture the power of law of this world with the help of the Pluto army's time to fight hell. If you want to open up the underworld again, you don't just have to integrate this hell. Even going to Helheim to take the law at the end of the world tree. Even, it is necessary to regain the secret of space in this world. Otherwise, under the compression of the law of this world, even if one's own strength can be recovered, it will be suppressed by the 5 creation gods. HMPH. Do you think you're really Hades? As soon as these words appeared, the power of the law of hell emanated directly from Duke Ma. The law of a plane is indeed very powerful. The power of the hell law in this world is completely different from when he created the hell in the underworld. However, this is not an opportunity for him to break through. The reincarnation of people in this world is completely controlled by the laws of the 5 great gods. The underworld, one of the 9 worlds, represents this kind of power, which can guide people in this world to reincarnate. And in this hell, there is only the breath of tyranny, without the power of creation. Time stop. Right now. A power that I had never felt before suddenly appeared in the hands of Duke Ma, and was exerted on me by him. Time stands still. This is the power of time law. At this moment, Aaron's body was held in place by Duke Ma for an instant and did not move. Master Hades. On the ground, Dalamandes excitedly got up from the ground, trying to use his own small universe to exert powerful energy to attack the Horse Duke. Unfortunately, at this moment, the time when the law takes effect. Now, whatever Dalamandes, Aaron is still so powerful, all movements have been suspended under this law. It's just a pity that Duke Ma never thought of it. This kind of power of time has passed too long for an existence like Hades. He has long been trying to pry into the secrets of time, just like using the secrets of space to carve out a world. Now, the power Aaron used to comprehend was not the so-called small universe of God. Nor is it the so-called 9th sense and 10th sense. He is using his own instinct, the power that has appeared since the beginning of the universe. The will of the gods. This is the most sacred power in the universe, and it can make the soul of a god immortal. The universe will perish, but the soul of God will never perish. At the moment when the Big Bang came, the will of the gods entered the universe and became the world where living creatures lived. And Hades is the god born under the will of the gods. Therefore, the power of time cannot trap Aaron. The power of time can only allow him to completely unravel the mysteries of time in this world. It turns out, it's like this. At the moment when an ancient and vicissitudes of life sounded from Aaron's mouth, the body of Duke Ma, who was the Lord of Hell, suddenly shook. This is. How can it be? I used the law of the entire hell to exert this power at the time level. How could this person return to normal in less than a second? It's not my fault. It's the whole world's fault. I, Satan, can kill this person. Horse Duke crazily gathered powerful energy, and the hell energy of millions of miles around was gathered by it. There is only one goal: get rid of Aaron. It's the wind. It's the wind of hell blowing by. There are noisy voices all around. It seems that the origin of hell is shouting here, but if you listen carefully, you can't feel anything. At the moment, Aaron, who was constantly feeling the law of hell, slowly opened his eyes. His eyes were still as blue as ever, but unlike before, this time Aaron's eyes became alive. This is an experience that Hades' human body has never had, but this time it definitely has this kind of reaction. Astral projection. After shouting angrily, Duke Ma also launched an attack. Powerful hell energy erupted at this moment. Suddenly, a monstrous wave of lava rose from the ground, rushing towards the sky where Aaron was. But at this very moment, Aaron's body moved. He slowly opened his sleeves, and a suffocating breath emerged directly from the sleeves, crushing the horse so that Duke couldn't breathe at all. That moment, Duke Ma saw thousands of galaxies appear in his sleeve. The endless star fragments suppressed the ability of astral projection, and the ultimate dark universe exploded in an instant. Boom. In an instant, a deafening sound resounded through the space of half hell. Under this powerful force, Blackheart's territory has completely merged with the lava of hell, and it is completely impossible to see that there has ever been a complex terrain here. The ultimate darkness, without any color, swallowed the only light in hell. The planetary fragments formed by countless priestly universes completely engulfed Duke Ma at this moment. Surpassed the light, devoured the light, and finally replaced the light-like existence. Duke Ma couldn't believe it, but the aura of this human being changed in that instant. My pride and the powerful magic that competed for a place with the lords of hell are completely unable to fight against the enemy at this moment. Puff. Aaron didn't expect that the level Godfather's demon would be so vulnerable. With a wave of his sleeves, the darkness engulfed the old devil. It seems that this hell seems to be like this. At this time, Duke Ma's bones were all broken, but after only a moment, a large number of souls were swallowed by him, and his body returned to normal again. Who are you? Ma Duke roared frantically. He was a majestic demon lord. Satan, the king of hell, would be defeated by a crazy human who called himself Hades. But at this moment, a bolt of lightning fell directly from the sky, and at this moment, a burst of black light slowly emerged from Aaron's body. Pluto sword. This terrifying sword intent. Horse Duke panicked. What have you done yourself? I'm Hades. Why, Duke, you don't know me anymore? With a smile on Aaron's face, he stared disdainfully at the fallen Mephisto in front of him with indifferent eyes. No, at this moment, calling him a god is a bit of an insult to God. A fallen demon lord has long been unable to become a god-like existence. Now he can only huddle in this piece of hell, barking at himself. HMPH. Hades is not like you. Do you think I don't know Hades? The god of Olympus, just like me now, is just a fallen devil. Ma Duke, who was almost crushed to death by Aaron, stood up again under the repair of the law of hell. Aaron at the moment stands high above the sky, staring blankly at everything below. Come out. Asmodeus. A huge amounts of magic circle was cast by Duke Ma casually, and the powerful hell energy was transformed into summoning magic. This moment, a huge amounts of demons are summoned. A demon who can't even reach the seventh sense is worthy of being summoned. Aaron gave a signal, and Dalamandes below immediately summoned the underworld fighters to come over and surround this sudden magic circle. At this moment, a huge amount of demons came out of it. This demon has 3 heads, but he is not at all as cute as his little black. Among the 3 heads, one is a human, one is a bull's head, and the other is a goat's head. Distinguish carefully from the surface. This demon should be Asmodeus, one of King Solomon's 72 pillars Mephisto. The whole body is covered with spikes, straddling a hellish dragon. The terrifying aura emanating from this body seems to represent that he is a high-level demon in hell. Grand Axe Kruzner, Giant Axe Smash, poor Asmodeus. The devil had just revealed its head from the magic circle, and the impatient Tianlao star rushed forward with a special attack. The giant axe of Minotaur, which was strong enough to cut against the holy sword on Zelong's arm, cut off the connection between space and time at that moment and landed on the dragon under Asmodeus' crotch. Ah! Accompanied by a hysterical roar, Asmodeus was chopped down to the ground before he emerged from the deepest part of hell. Master Hades, Gordon has lived up to expectations and killed the enemy. In the sky, Aaron, who is Hades, the king of the underworld, stands high above the dark sky. At this moment, Duke Ma felt a burst of angina. Asmodeus, but one of the 72 pillars of Mephisto, the most powerful demon under him, can only be dealt with by his subordinates. Coupled with the Pluto sword floating above his head, Duke Ma finally understood. Would it be my biggest mistake to fight this person? However, since they have already fought against each other, if they don't show their housekeeping skills, they may die in a short time. Then, a burst of huge amounts of sound came out. Boom. Marduk immediately stretched out his hand. The huge amounts of magic claws were slowly buckled down, and then the palm of his hand was squeezed suddenly. The surrounding space was crushed and exploded at that moment. The crushing of space and space, even the existence of level Godfather, will inevitably feel threatened. However, this time was different. The shattered hell space did not cause any damage to the fighters below. Even the lowest level of the underworld fighter, there is no harm. How can it be? How could this person be so strong? This person has always called himself Hades, but he knows that Hades, the god of death in Olympus, cannot be so powerful. The coercion all around compressed towards Eren. Darkness, coldness and the breath of death constantly attack Eren. It's a pity, for these Erens, these things are things that they have long disdained to master. Boring. As soon as the words fell, the sword of Pluto fell directly from the sky, slashed across Duke Ma's arm, and cut it off. Hiss. Pain came into his mind. Duke Ma suddenly realized that his arm could not recover. This Pluto sword contains the powerful will of the gods. The energy beyond the small universe is completely a curse of Hades, the king of the underworld. Marduk broke out in a cold sweat instantly, and now he just wants to run away from his eyes. Damn. Damn humans. Marduk tried to provoke Eren, and then took this opportunity to leave immediately. But Eren is not a fool, he has already seen Duke's intentions. In an instant, a powerful dark energy directly appeared around, imprisoning all the surrounding lava, air and even time. Immediately afterwards, Duke Ma discovered that his body was completely unmanipulated. Ever since I fell into a demon back then, I have never been treated like this. Want to ask for forgiveness? A cold voice came over. It was Eren's teasing voice. Begging for mercy? Let me go. Will you? Definitely not. A mere Duke, he has no effect on the underworld at all. A demon who has long lost his godhead, relying on the human soul to go too far. Even if he enters hell, he can only be exiled to the extreme cold and cannot return. Damn it. You're playing with me. This moment, Marduk became completely angry. Then, with the most powerful energy, it gathered on the only remaining arm, and unleashed the full blow of his top heavenly father at Eren. It's useless, your result is already doomed to death. Boom. A loud noise came before Eren's eyes, and the barrier in front of him directly nullified any attack and fed back to the attacker. Such a powerful force that can completely destroy a planet, or even a galaxy. It's so cancelled out. Such a powerful energy directly overwhelmed it. Even if there is a law of hell to protect him, at this moment, Duke Ma is also doomed to be unable to change his fate of death. Boom. With a burst of huge amounts of sound spread to the distance. Has the entire ground completely disappeared, and the Horse Duke, who was once the god king of ancient Babylon and is now the top hell lord, has become a sacrifice in this dark space. Eren stared at the surroundings indifferently. At this moment, all the peeping demon lords around him disappeared without a trace. Let's go, Radamandes, the bet between you has been lost. In a different dimension, a hearty voice burst into laughter. A jet black, a fiery red figure was right in front of him. Ha 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 ha, old devil, you didn't expect that this alliance with Dormammu will let you steal the chicken without losing money. Clutching the time gem eye of Agamotto, Ancient One gazes across the sky at two mighty demons. 1. Mephisto at the top of the level Godfather. 1. Probably more than the other Dormammu real body of level Godfather. Neither of them can handle Ancient One, and now it is not the two devils, Dormammu and Mephisto, that trap Ancient One here. It was the Ancient One that dragged them here. Ancient One. You actually used the power of other Mephistos to invade my hell plane. This time, Mephisto lost. The purpose of joining forces with Dormammu is to use the plane of the earth to counterattack heaven. Earth, nothing but the soul is of interest to me. So as long as you occupy this plane, you can get more souls. And the earth, at worst, just give it to Dormammu. They're all 1,000-year-old monsters, what kind of foxes are they pretending to be? But, this time, the alliance between himself and Dormammu seems to have failed in one blow. What I saw in the magic of the water mirror was a piece of dark power that was stronger than the energy on Duke Ma. The sudden appearance of this force completely cancelled their plan. They don't know what kind of power this is, they don't know what the will of the gods is, and what is the small universe of Pluto. That person didn't even move his hand, he directly chopped a powerful Hell Lord into hell. The Lords of Hell are the darlings of the law of hell, it is impossible to die so easily. But, a black heart, a Horse Duke died in front of his eyes so truly. You guys asked for this, now, old devil, don't even think about leaving this alien space. Ancient One sneered. She never thought that she would have such a day. Hold back the two old guys, and let the person you like almost capture the entire plane of hell. At this moment, Mephisto tried to use powerful energy to break through the darkness and return to hell. But every time when he was about to succeed, Ancient One manipulated the time gem to get him back. Ancient One. A burst of anger came. Dormammu, the mighty master of dimension, and Mephisto, the manic king of hell, have used powerful energy law to kill Ancient One directly. But Ancient One still stood there calmly, staring at the two devils in the sky. The spell in his hand was slowly cast, Hellplane. After Aaron easily killed the Horse Duke, the figures around him who coveted his power disappeared without a trace. Cerberus, take Vila and follow us. After finishing speaking, Aaron took the lead in tearing the space and leaving here. The fighters below looked at each other in blank dismay. Dalamandes clenched his fists and jumped up. The royal city of Mephisto, the king of hell, stands among a bunch of mountains. Surrounded by mountains all around, a giant city of flames soaring into the sky stands in the middle of many volcanoes. There are lava demons, lava dragons, and other famous fire-attributed demon armies everywhere. Before this royal city, an army of more than 100,000 demons had gathered. If the Pluto army hadn't set off before, then once the army of more than 100,000 demons invaded the plane of the earth. I'm afraid there are only 108 ghost fighters, and it's too late to collect those souls. What? Why do you say that the underworld among the 9 realms doesn't care about this matter? Hela is still busy with the next Ragnarok. What about your human life? It's just that as long as the demon army invades the earth, then those earth gods who have been silent for a long time will gradually recover. Especially for heaven, which is at odds with hell, under the leadership of the great angel Gabriel, the people of heaven will immediately appear from that dimension. The earth will once again become a battlefield. Giant wings soaring into the wind. Following the appearance of an indifferent voice, the army of Minos has come under the royal city of Mephisto. As one of the big three, Dalamandes's direct subordinate, Balandane, knew clearly after seeing the arrival of Lord Minos. The bet between my lord and Lord Minos has already been lost. In addition to their identity as underworld fighters, they also have the identity of normal human beings on Earth. After losing this round, Lord Dalamandes will be responsible for a month's drinking money for all of Lord Minos' subordinates. Well, pity. A huge hurricane sweeps through hell's lava. The speed was so fast that the demon army was swept up by Minos' hurricane before they could react at all. Just for a moment, tens of thousands of demons were torn to pieces under this hurricane. The hills that wrap the city of Mephisto completely collapsed at this moment. Pluto's army, the former is Mephisto's royal city. Walk. Behind him, Pharaoh from Celestial Beast, and Looney from Celestial Angel are all by his side. Even Balandane and a group of underworld fighters from the Earth Fiend followed up. Lord Minos, this road is really very safe. There were only a dozen high-level demons along the way. Not even a lord showed up, but this is no wonder. More than a dozen demon fighters have no scruples in front of an army of 100,000 demons. Minos, I won't let you enter the city first. The figure of Dalamandes came from a distance behind him. Minos turned his head and saw Dalamandes flying towards him quickly. Above Cerberus' head, Aaron stared at the royal city in front of him. Then extended his right hand. A purple-black ball of light constantly slowly opened from his hand, gradually get bigger and bigger. Dead space. At that moment, the countless demon army on the entire ground fell to the ground at this moment. Demons have no souls, they are creatures of hell. At this moment, he died directly in front of everyone's eyes. This is the power of Pluto who has mastered life and death, creation and destruction, just at this moment. Minos, Dalamandes, retreat first. Yes, Lord Hades. Aaron stared in the direction of Mephisto King City, and then pulled out the Pluto sword. The sword moved with the heart, and the powerful small universe followed the direction pointed by Pluto's sword and killed it. Moment. A huge Hell King City was directly cut in half. The goal has been achieved, let's go.